It is rare in this day and time, as much as I love the game of basketball, that I wanted to stand up and applaud two teams. But I did last night.
Really?
Because I loved...
Two teams?
I loved the intensity.
Okay.
I loved the intensity. Forget about the outcome. Forget about the play for a second. I'm not saying it doesn't matter. Of course it matters. And we'll dissect that in a couple of segments in this show. But that level of intensity that you saw last night is what we've been begging to see from this generation of players. That level of hostility, that's what you want to see. You want to see people that care as much as you do, if not considerably more, about going up against one another. Russell Westbrook plays with rage. I find him to be an incredibly honest guy as well, in his actions and not just his words. But he lied through his teeth last night in the postgame when he said it wasn't personal. That's a flat-out lie. I don't believe that at all. It most definitely was personal. And to be honest with you, it should have been. Because as I told Patrick Beverly and his wonderful, lovely mama during the Dwight Howard press conference being introduced as a member of the Houston Rockets, that, to me, was not a good play. It looked dirty. I'm not calling Patrick Beverly dirty, but that play last year when he went low, because as Tim Legler was pointing out on SportsCenter, Skip, it happens in the game all the time. Going for the ball, whatever. You know somebody's going to call a timeout. But you don't go low. And he did last year, and that was my issue. Last night, everybody's under this impression he did the same thing. He did not do the same thing. He went high. He was up here when he was going after the ball, and I'm cool with that. As long as you don't go low because you're going at somebody's knee. There's nothing wrong going to the ball if you don't go, as long as you don't go low when you know they're going to call a timeout. But there was a three-pointer that Russell Westbrook took. And Patrick Beverly didn't just try to block it. He kind of lunged his body into Russell Westbrook as Russell Westbrook elevated. So don't tell me it wasn't personal. It was physical, okay? And it was volatile to some degree. And as long as it wasn't dirty, I loved it because that's what you want to see. Now, Russell Westbrook is he's sensational to watch, although he's erratic at times. Do I really need to talk about Kevin Durant? I mean, when you know, when 42 points is acquired 42, I mean, Lord have mercy. This boy is just pure, just pure. I mean, he's money. Okay, so it was sensational to watch him. Ibaka showed up. Dwight Howard did not. Very disappointed in Dwight Howard's performance last night. You're better than that, big fella. You're better than that. This is why you came to Houston, for games like this. Houston lost. You can sit there and talk about the turnovers. You can talk about a lot of things. You can talk about Beverly and how impotent he was offensively. You can talk about all of those things. Harden had 28. Okay. I'm looking at this 9 of 21 shooting. Not that great. But in the end, what it comes down to is this. Ibaka, 12 points, 16 rebounds, 4 blocks. Dwight Howard, 9 points, 10 rebounds. No. I'm sorry. It's unacceptable.
Your takeaway, Bayless?
I tweeted right after the game that Kevin Durant took back, in my view, the MVP lead from LeBron James last night. And he did so with a very loud fourth quarter. You can talk about a quiet 42, but those 12 in the fourth were loud points. Stephen A. Smith, this team had a recent history since Westbrook's return of blowing big leads. They blew an 18-point lead to the Lakers, 16 to the Suns, and even a 12 to Cleveland. And this time, in his house, Kevin Durant said, not tonight. He made, as you know, dagger after will-killing dagger. Just when I thought he was finished, he did it again. And when it looked like Houston was not going to be denied, and they would creep back to within 4 or 5 or what, you know, he'd step back and do it again. And it felt like he was pulling up from 30, as you say, because that's what it felt like. They weren't really 30-footers, but they felt like 30-footers in impact. I give it up today to Kevin Durant. That was big time against a budding arch rival that was the hottest team in the league, the red-hot Rockets. Now, back to your final point, which probably should have been my first point. I cannot applaud this game because of Dwight Howard. That's just, it's beyond unacceptable to me, because he was presented as the missing link for the Rockets, and last night he was just missing. Just missing, period. At the end of the game, I had to look at the box score to think, wait a minute, did I miss something? Did he get hurt? Did he get in foul trouble? No. He just disappeared. How in a game of that magnitude, a game that chippy, a game that should be physical on both sides, in a good way, how can you shrink?
Yeah.
How can you, Dwight Howard, come up so small to the point that I look at this box and he had 10 of the quietest rebounds I've ever seen. And I remind you, Ibaka, look at your box, had 16 rebounds. Ibaka had 4 blocks to Dwight's single block, 1 block. Dwight goes 1 of 6 from the free throw line. I guess we shouldn't be surprised about that. But Stephen A. Smith, there were stretches that Steven Adams, the 7-foot rookie,
blocked one of his shots.
He blocked one of his shots and just outplayed him for stretches, like played harder and stronger. I'm thinking, seriously, Dwight? It's crippling psychologically to your new team that wants, like, Dwight, we need you now against Ibaka, because Harden down the stretch, you know, we talk about what a closer killer he is. It's just crazy. He walks into those threes up the floor. It's like, you're going to shoot that shot?
He didn't,
yes, I am.
He didn't back up. He didn't back up.
But there's no Dwight when you need Dwight.